Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Jerry Ann Bogus, and I'm the Executive Director for the Black Heritage Trail. Thank you. And I'm sure that you know that putting on an event like this takes many hands and a lot of folks that work in behind the scenes to make this happen. And in the feeling for today, I really hope you don't mind me calling their names and acknowledging their presence, because their presence is important to us and important to the work we do. Not only being part of our team, but being these collective individuals in our work. So give me just a moment to acknowledge everyone. So we've got a bunch of volunteers who've been with the trail helping us. Sarah Schumann, Valerie Fagan, Noor Shoup just got COVID, Parker Keeler, Richard Gorin, Janine Jacks, Janine Steele, Carl Steele, Chip Stiles, our driver, our new volunteer that we'll never let go. Hey, Chip, you're with us forever now. Oh, he's driving. Grace Pierce, Janice Pierce, another volunteer that is going to be with us forever. She doesn't know it yet. Terry Robinson, who you all met last year, Brad Randolph, and Kathy Wolf. They keep us going and keep our organization going. Thank you. To our staff that you see running around, Gina Boker, Gina, Darius Steele, Nora Lewis, Janice Hastings, the organizer, Ann Romney. Now, these are our planning committee members: Ann Romney, Shelley Hartz, Rebecca Potter, and Judy Posner. And we're always grateful to Southern New Hampshire University for having us here, giving us the space, food, AV, and to the Courier Museum. If you were there last night to see the amazing movie that we watched, we just thank everybody for making this possible. Thank you.
Well, thank you for letting us host you, because it really is a privilege and an honor to have you with us. This conference means a lot to us. We've had an amazing morning. We're going to have an amazing afternoon. But right now, it is my honor to open up the Citizen Award presentation. I'm Jada Hebra, and I'm the Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer at SNHU. And I've, yeah. Good. And I've been in this role for 8 years, and we had previous President Paul LeBlanc, who was extremely supportive of this effort. And now we have Lisa Marsh Ryerson, who was here earlier, and who is also extremely supportive of this organization. So it's a great partnership and one we want to continue. So, Citizen Award presentation. A Citizen of the Year is someone who embodies the spirit of community and leadership. It's important for us to recognize and to honor those individuals who are doing this work on the ground in their communities and whose outstanding contributions inspire us to make a difference.
Black Heritage Trail of New Hampshire Citizen of the Year Award was established in 2015 to recognize an individual who, through volunteer service, has been dedicated to strengthening communities and individuals. The winner of the Black Heritage Trail Citizen of the Year Award is selected by a Black Heritage Trail committee member after nomination review and research.
Previous award recipients include Jay Williams, Brenda Lett, Fern Cunningham, Melvin B. Miller, Ashley F. Bryan, Thomas Hooker, Dick Gregory, and Dwight Davis. We are now pleased to introduce Anthony Poore, CEO and President of the New Hampshire Center for Justice and Equity, who will present this year's Citizen of the Year Award recipient. Anthony.
Good afternoon. Oh, Lord. Good afternoon, y'all. How y'all doing today? Did I wake y'all up? I hope so. I know I come after lunch, and it was good, wasn't it? All right, can we get some love for our folks over there? Sir, thank you so much for what you've done for us today. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I'm just going to take a few minutes here. They've given me the mic, and I'm gonna, with some sort of level of privilege and opportunity, I'm going to use it. For those that don't know, like again, Jada was so nice to introduce me. I am Anthony Poor. I'm the president and CEO of the New Hampshire Center for Justice and Equity, and it literally is my pleasure today to award Brother Justice Roe William, with the Black Heritage Trail of New Hampshire Citizens of the Year Award. I also want to introduce my colleague, Joe Porter, who had the opportunity to ask a question. We're both here in support, one of our former board members, Brother Sandeep Bikram Shah, who's also with us today. So thank you, brother. It's good to see you. I'd like to start some of my remarks with gratitude and to give thanks. And so what I'd like to do is to really sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, thank Jerry Ann Bogus and the Black Heritage Trail of New Hampshire, its board, and its staff for all you do to make sure our stories, the stories of New Hampshire's communities of color, are told. Every presentation I give, I think of Miss Jerry Ann, who consistently reminds me that although our populations have doubled over the past 10 years, right, representing 250,000 people in a state with only 1.4 million people in it, we've been here since day one, right? We're not new, and we ain't going nowhere, right? And so I just want to thank the Heritage Trail for all that you do. And as we think about it even today, I mean, I want to share something which I think is critically important. You may not know this, but in New Hampshire, we have the 10th highest percentage of LGBT adults in the United States here. And 12%, 12% or greater than 1 out of 10 of our youth identify as gay, lesbian, or trans in some way in our high schools, right? And so the conversations we're having today, reflections on our elders and the history that's helped inform our struggles and our shared struggles are really, really important. And also, for those who don't know what the New Hampshire Center for Justice and Equity is in terms of particularly our mission, we aim to elevate and empower our communities of color by both making connections and changing systems so that everybody can belong and their contributions matter. Now, to that point, I want to just make a couple of points of things here because I think this is important. Everyone has this document in here in your thing, and I'm going to thank the Black Heritage Trail for identifying and giving voice to these people. And I want to make a quick connection here. I was talking to Jada and the president of SNHU here because I think it's important. The question was asked earlier today, and Tanisha talks about actions over words. But I sincerely believe that words matter. Stories and narratives matter. Saying their name matters, right? Because it's through their struggle and through their dedication and what we call the 3 Ps at the center, their patience, their persistence, but most of all, their perseverance to make a better place where we all belong and we all can contribute. So folks like Audre Lorde, personally for me, James Baldwin, Bayard Rustin, we saw the movie yesterday. Marsha P. Johnson, she's been referenced. Barbara Jordan, these are the people when I think about the work that they do, particularly as we focus not solely on programs and projects, but shaping the policies that inform opportunities for our communities at the systems level, right? We got to think big, y'all. And I want to share with you, many of you have never heard of Andrea Jenkins before. Maybe, I'm assuming. You also may not know that she is a graduate of the School of Community Economic Development here at Southern New Hampshire University in the year 2002, right? So there's a commitment to from this institution to these communities that have dated back really since I was the assistant dean of that institution years and years and years ago, right? So there are strong, and I'm from the country, y'all, so I call it roots, right? We got roots in this work here. See, y'all feel me, don't you, over there? I see you, bro. I see you, right? So I think it's really, really important that we say their name, right? Not just Sandra Bland, but folks like this who came before us to make it possible for the New Hampshire Center for Justice and Equity to exist so we can better understand the communities in which we live, work, play, and pray in. Because the reality of the situation, in order to fix a problem, you got to name it. Because we know here in New Hampshire that not all opportunities are provided our communities equally or equitably, impacting Things like our home ownership rates in the state. People of color, Black folks in particular, own our homes at 29% compared to our European brothers and sisters at 72%. Greatest contributor to the racial wealth gap we have in the United States today. It's these work we got to do. But in order for us to change these systems, we need people like this gentleman over here, right? That will allow us to better understand and make space and place for us. As we were talking earlier, and I said, brother, I love you. And I appreciate what you do to make a better place where everybody belongs, right? Right. And we talked about consistency, whether it be in the gym, right, or on the job, right? We need both. So I'm going to take a moment to give this brother his flowers because he deserves it. Every once in a while, a person comes along with a simple idea and turns it into a groundbreaking social change movement. Through powerful insight, this person has challenged the assumptions we may take for granted about health, wellness, and who gets to be seen and how. Justice Roe Williams is an inspiration and a voice for those often pushed to the margins, making their experience central to the conversation. I'm thinking about Sister Raquel earlier today, right? Nothing, don't talk about us without us kind of thing, right? His work dismantles toxic narratives around fat shaming, homophobia, and ableism, offering an urgent call to inclusive, accessible fitness in public spaces. As an activist, Justice Roe Williams' journey towards liberation compelled him to fight one battle at a time: the Black fight, the women's fight, the queer and the trans fight. What he wanted and has come to embody through his inclusive fitness practices is a way to bring us all together, each in our own unique and distinctive way, to collectively free our bodies from our own prejudices and those of the societies in which we live, work, play, and pray. Justice's generous vision, reflected in revolutionizing the fitness industry, invites each of us to glimpse in the mirror of a more tolerant, diverse, and inclusive world. It is my pleasure. Come on, Justice. Come on up. It is my absolute pleasure to present to you the 2004 Black Heritage Trail of New Hampshire Citizen of the Year Award to Brother Justice Roe.
Mother, there's too many of you to cry. Brother.
Yes, we got to bring it back, right? I was born during those years. That was like 73. I was born in 74, right? So a little bit of context. We lived then under what Bell Hooks says is a white supremacist, cis-hetero, patriarchal society. Capitalistic, let me not forget that, society, right? I want to first, even though I share that because I love our recent ancestor, Bell Hooks, and a lot of me being a man today is learning and reading and sharing and loving in that spirit and in that vein. I want to give a land acknowledgement to the Abenaki Nation, because this is the land that we are on. And I believe that if we are going to talk about deconstructing systems of oppression, we got to start from the very beginning of this land that we are now on, right? To me, we have to move beyond land acknowledgement to understanding the ways that that oppression is our oppression. No matter what race we are, no matter what class we are, no matter our character, it affects us all. We all have been colonized. All of our ideas about who we are as a people on this soil, on this land, has been colonized. I want us to understand that systemic umbrella that Bell Hooks shared with us. Those are the intersections that we are meeting at. So when we are talking about what it means to move beyond queerness, move beyond transness, move beyond race, we have to be able to meet each other at those intersections and not stand still. We have to move through those intersections, right? Together. Appreciate the conflict, because conflict brings growth. Appreciate the other person's experience, because if we don't listen beyond our own experiences, whether it is of oppression or privilege, we will not shift the narrative towards the change that we deserve and that we should receive. Why do I do this work? I do this work because I love, not from a colonized ideology of love that is transactional, that you should do something for me in order for me to love you. This work is rooted in the foundation of love that challenged me to fight my battles internal, accept all of who I am, and be with people exactly where they are at that moment, in conflict, in love, even in pain and trauma. Because what we forget is the narrative is not exactly interpersonal. It's systemic. It's institutional. It's the ideas that we have internalized and believed that it's elements of who we are. I believe that I hated who I was. I once hated Black people. In some ways, I am still transphobic, right? I'm honest in the ways that I have internalized the values of this white supremacist culture. I don't back down, right? I stand up. I listen, because this is only my experience of it. If we are to move as a collective with that framework of love, we have to be in that conflict. We have to not stand still. I have to be able to move to the other side of your experience. That's change. That's love. Being in our bodies is the most vulnerable space to be. I don't care who you are. We have all been lied to, all of us, I don't care who you are, about our identity, about the ways that we've internalized gender, about the ways that we've internalized privilege, about a transactional society rooted in toxic capitalism where we sell our souls every day just to survive. And we wonder why it's so hard to move to the other side, because we forgot what love is. So I am grateful for being honored today. I am grateful for being in spaces with change makers that are able to be authentic in this space. Be authentic in relationships. Stand with me in my experience, meet me where I'm at, and be able to challenge yourself to move to the other side. I am grateful for you, because it takes all of us, no matter identity, right? No matter gender, no matter ability. It takes all of us to bring our experiences of these systems, deconstruct them, understand why they were created. They were created to distance, not to connect. So a deeper level of change is spirit work. The work of spirit is understanding our connection to each other, understanding our connection to the land, understanding our connection to what America used to frame this as is the third world, right? The war in Gaza, how we distance ourselves from America's responsibility towards that, which is our responsibility towards that, because this is where we are. We are on this land that oppresses and represents oppression. I can go into ideas like eugenics, slavery. I could go on and on historically. The only way we're going to change, the only way we're going to move is to be in more spaces like this where there's diversity, right? Not by account. Oh, we had 7 Black people here. Great. Oh, we had this many Latin people here. Great. No, by accumulation, because you built trust, right? There's a difference when we meet together and we take the time to trust. There is a deeper love. There is spirit, right? There is movement. And that is who I am. And that's the work that I do.